Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the XL Shadow Poliwhirl with the legacy move Scald. This is going to be a very interesting video, as they're of course going to have the community day tomorrow, and honestly this Pokemon is a ton of fun. So if you want to play something spicy, this might be a Pokemon for you, as this actually has quite some play. Like, it is not anything where you would say, okay, yeah, this has no play, it's just like completely for fun. And no, it actually can do something, which is kind of funny. This Pokemon has an amazing moveset actually, having access to Mudshot, giving you a fast generating a fast move there, which is going to allow you to get to the Mud Bomb, which is now buffed, very easier, as well as you're going to have also Scald, which is a very decent water type move as well. So this Pokemon has a very decent moveset, and I think the Borg is even above Tapu Finis, which of course as a Shadow variant you don't see as much, but as a normal variant you would see. So this Pokemon has quite some play. Here we're going to run the normal Quagsire as a face-up on this team, as well as the Registeel in the lead, as this is going to give you the best kind of coverage. I could have also went for the Shadow Quagsire, but I actually decided to build a normal one just for this team here, as this is going to allow you to be a little bit better against all the Lucario, which you don't really want to, where you don't really need the extra damage for it. Like, you're going to one-shot it anyway with a Mud Bomb, so why would you go ahead and waste some of your defense for it? And this makes the matchup way easier, so that's definitely going to be a little bit better. Here we're going to encounter actually the Shadow Alolan Sandslash by my opponent, as they're going to be able to knock them out here with our Poliwhirl, winning this first game. Next game, a very nice lead for us, and they're actually going to stay in here as well, which is going to be amazing for us, as we can go ahead and go for the no shield, of course. Thunder coming through, allowing us to hit the Focus Burst against the opponent. And you're going to see something here as well, the opponent is going to swap out. And I'm going to swap out, way too late to be fair, but I still might be able to realign my Pokemon as I have a shield advantage, and this might be the best play for me. But I got a ton of energy off here, so that's going to be also kind of nice. I just didn't want to eat a Mud Bomb onto my Registeel, but here we can go ahead, go for the Mud Bomb on our Quagsire against the opponent's Quagsire, and we reach another one here as well. But at this point of time, I feel like we might even be able to just go ahead and go for a sweep, hopefully. Let's see here, we're going to see the Mud Bomb coming through. I'm going to go for my own Mud Bomb, and there's going to be a CMP tie. If I swapped out earlier, I would have been fine. Like this, my opponent going to be able to realign, which is really bad for me, but they're going to go ahead and go into a Ferrothorn for whatever reason. So they're most likely going to have something like a Jellicent in the back, I would guess, at this point of time. Or something like a Pelipper. So let's see what's going to be. It's going to be the Pelipper, and I went for a charge move here. I should have most likely undercharged a little bit more than just great, but this already knocks them out. And at this point of time, I'm going to try to catch a charge move here from the opponent. Didn't work out. Poliwhirl is going through here with the Mud Bomb though. Going to do a ton of damage actually, forcing them to throw fairly quickly here. This is going to be just a power, but they have to hit the Thunder, and I can outspeed them just barely by one turn. And like this Focus Blast is going to be easily enough to knock out the opponent and win us this game. Let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to encounter here the next opponent coming through, Icelandic Lapras, as we're going to have a very decent lead for us again. The Pelipper in the lead is very good for us, as we're going to see now the Say Swap of the Lantern, allowing us to get into our Quagsire, getting up some energy here as well, and we can take 2 serves without a doubt, as we can even go ahead and go for another Mud Bomb here. I'm going to just allow the opponent to throw another one, and just go ahead and let this move go through here, over farming now by quite a bit, so I can get to my Stone Edge against the opponent's Pelipper as well. But here, Mud Bomb is coming through, going to be a CMP tie. We win CMP tie with our Quagsire, and the Lantern gonna go down. In comes now the Pelipper. Of course, we're gonna go straight for the Stone Edge here, as this is going to get the damage onto the opponent that we need. As now we can even go ahead and go for a Mud Bomb and threaten a shield here if they wanted to. But they're going to let this move go through, but this is going to allow us now to put in our Poliwhirl against the opponent, and if we can get some debuffs with Scald, might be decent. Most likely I should go for that as well, but I'm gonna go for the Mud Bomb first. Should just go straight Scald, to be fair. This is most likely a misplay by me here. It's going to be neutral though. They're going to let this move go through. Like, Scald would have definitely put them into a range where I could have farmed them down. This is such a big mistake by me, especially as Scald has, of course, the debuff chance for the attack. This is going to be very, very awkward for us, as we can now go ahead and use a shield against the opponent just to get the shield from the opponent. And now we have to hope that we can farm him down with our Registeel here. It's going to be a tough one. Can we farm him all the way down? It's going to be definitely tricky as you see the draw run coming through here. The opponent going to go ahead and stay in, allowing us to go for a charge move here. It's going to be the Focus Blast. And in comes now the Pelipper with a 1 HP left. And this is going to be a very good game there. Close one, but a good one. Next opponent, Horrible Lead Force. We're going to swap out immediately here. Quagsire against Quagsire, not what you want to see. But they're going to go straight for the charge move. Very smart decision by them because now they have the fast move advantage. If I went for mine before, I would have basically negated the fact that we had to swap on in here first, which usually takes like 1 turn. But if you go straight for your charge move before the opponent goes, you can kind of negate this if they have a 2-turn move against you or higher. But here we're going to now be able to go for the Mud Bomb against the opponent still. And because we have very decent IVs, we might be able to still get ahead here, but no, I'm actually going to let this move go through, and I'm going to take some damage onto my Registeel because they're going to get to their next charge move in time. But I will take the energy here as well, which is going to allow us now to go ahead and farm them all the way down. And in comes now the Lucario, where we can go ahead, go for the Focus Blast, get the shield advantage, and hopefully going to be able to sweep endgame with a Poliwhirl. Let's see if we can do this. And most days should let the first move go through here, but I'm going to just shield up all the power punches. It's very likely that they're going to have something like Escavalier in the back at this point of time. They're going to shield up the Mud Bomb, and I'm going to go ahead and have the CMP tie here for us. I'm going to have to shield, of course, here as well. I didn't have to, like, if I shield, no shield the first one, I think I still would have most likely lost here. But let's see what they're going to have in the back. It's going to be actually a Sandslash, so maybe we do enough damage here. It's going to be close. Let's see if we can do it. We cannot do it, sadly, and the opponent gets to move. But actually, maybe if I went ahead and let the first move go through, I still maybe would have been able to knock out the Lucario and then had a shield advantage with my Registeel. It would have been definitely better off. But yeah, it's a little bit tricky. Here we're going to actually encounter an incoming Pelipper, as well as we had, of course, a very horrible lead against us with the Quagsire. But the Stonehenge just coming through and finding the opponent immediately, as they're going to go ahead and go for the bait here. Very smart decision by them, as they're going to be able to now have still a ton of energy left. I can go for my Mud Bomb, get the shield from the opponent though. And like this, I can even get another shield. And after this, I don't really care too much about what they're going to do right now, because I know I can just take this advantage here. And they're going to go ahead and go for a Hurricane, knocking me out. But this will allow me to go ahead and go for a full farm down with my Registeel, allowing me to get to a Focus Blast here against the opponent's Quagsire, which definitely does not want to take this one, putting them easily into range for one Mud Bomb. And we're going to be able to now shield this move up, I think. No, we're actually going to let this move go through. It's going to be a Mud Bomb from the opponent. I can get the CMP tie here, and I win the CMP tie against the Quagsire, knocking them out. And in comes now a Registeel, and they decide to forfeit. They didn't want to go ahead against the Poliwhirl with their Registeel, which of course is understandable. Here we're going to have now the Lucario against us, which of course is one of the matchups where you kind of want to have the non-Shadow variant, as they will be able to go ahead and still win this game no matter what. I'm going to shield up if they have close combat. This might be a little bit tricky. They go straight for the Shadow Ball, which is going to be even better for me, as I can even overfarm by a little bit, allowing me to go for another Mud Bomb and knock them out. As we will see the Pelipper coming in, we can go ahead and go for the Stone Age here, but this was a huge mistake actually by me to not go straight for it. I didn't expect them to go straight for their Weather Ball. Like this, the opponent has the Escavalier in the back. I can go for one Scald, but if I went ahead and maybe won this matchup here with my Poliwhirl, which I'm actually going to be able to do here, especially with the attack drop, I would have put the opponent into a range with a Stone Age where just a Mud Bomb would be enough to knock them out. But here actually it doesn't matter, because I'm going to no shield, and like this, there is a Pelipper against a Registeel with a ton of energy, and there is nothing they can do. And they realize as well going to forfeit this game, and we can move straight into the next one. We're going to have a Registeel here against the Ferrothorn of the opponent, which will be okay for us, as we can go ahead and go for the Thunder from the opponent here. We can go straight for the Focus Blast, going to do a ton of damage against them, have some energy stored still, and we will see that they're going to stay in here actually, and I'm gonna go ahead and catch the Thunder. This is risky. If this would be the Power Whip, it would have definitely knocked me out, but like this, we're actually going to get a fairly decent advantage, basically catching a very bad move for us. Especially as we have an ABB line here right now, we're gonna get out the Jellicent, which is going to be a better matchup for the Quagsire for sure, as Mud Bomb and Mud Shot is both stab on the Quagsire, which is not the case for the Poliwhirl. But here we will be able to go for one Mud Bomb, going to get them very low, and we even reach another one, and this is amazing as this forces a shield from the opponent. And now they are going to be one shield down. I can go ahead and go into my Poliwhirl here, and Poliwhirl are going to have a great time here as well, as I can go ahead and go for the Mud Bomb to knock them out as well. If they're no shielding this one, let's see if what they're going to do here. They're going to no shield this one, and now we're going to have the Lucario in the back. I can go for another Mud Bomb here, forcing a shield by the opponent. And there's no real reason for me to swap out here either, as they're going to try to catch the move. But no, we're gonna go for a full Poliwhirl sweep here, end game, going to knock them out and destroy the entire team with just a Shadow Poliwhirl. And this Pokemon actually went really well for me, like it actually went positive with this team in general. But I think I went one time into the Great League here, which is I think exactly this match here. I think there's not Meganium allowed in this cup. Yeah, this is Great League match here. Meganium is definitely not in the Fossil Cup allowed. So this happened actually I think twice for me as well. This was still played while there was the Great League available, so that's most likely why right now is Ultra League time. But yeah, we're going to actually see how this team performs in the Open Great League, which is kind of funny. You're going to be able to go for a charge move against the opponent's Galarian Stunfisk, which actually would be allowed, but is rarely used, and we will be able to actually shield up the opponent's Earthquake, which is really nice, as now we're gonna get out of this matchup with a move start. But in comes of course the Meganium, and I didn't expect that I would be able to go for a Stone Edge, but I actually would have been able to survive the next fast move as well, I think. So this was a misplay by me, but it doesn't matter because the opponent shielded anyway. I'm going to let this move go through because I wanted to win this game with my Poliwhirl. Let's see if this is going to work. Okay, now I have to shield. That was maybe not the best decision, but we will see that they're going to have in the back a Bastion. And of course, we have to go ahead, go for the big Focus Blast here, and we will be able to now farm them all the way down here, swap out into our Poliwhirl, and this will be a nice one. We can just farm them all the way down with the double super effective Mud Shot, as they have no way really of preventing this, and I can go for one Scald. And this Scald is all it takes to knock out a Meganium from this range, so that's going to be a very good game. But yeah, Scald, legacy move, definitely a move that you can go for. It's a funny Pokemon, so I definitely like it. Here I make a mistake, I think I could have went for way more farm. Honestly, I could have definitely went for way more farm than this, but here we can still go ahead and knock out the opponent's Mawile, very decent for us. As now in comes the opponent's Ferrothorn for sure, there's no reason for them not to do this. And we can go for a Mud Bomb, which will allow us to put them into a Focus Blast range. But if we hit some more Mud Bombs, we're actually going to put them into a Mud Bomb range from our Poliwhirl as well, which is going to be very decent for us, as we see the Mud Bomb going to land against the opponent. I'm going to be able to let this move go through, of course. Going to be the Power Whip. I can go back into my Registeel, and in comes a Quagsire. Quagsire against Poliwhirl. This is going to be a very difficult matchup to still win, and they're going to go for the Mud Bomb. I'm of course going to try to get the debuff onto the opponent here right now. Let's see how good this is going to be. Shield coming up, no debuff on the first one, but surely I'm going to be able to get a debuff on the second one, right? Stone Edge comes through here, going to get shielded. I can go for a Scald here. This is going to definitely debuff here, right? I don't actually know the chances. It does not debuff the opponent though. Let me actually check if I can see that in game. I actually don't know if you can see it in game, what the chances for a debuff of a Scald is, because I actually don't know. I thought it's either 30 or 50%. Here, I don't think it actually says in the game. It just only has a chance for dropping, okay? So I think it's 30%. I think it's like crunch or something. But here we're going to sadly go down by this Shadow Quagsire, which is going to sweep me end game. If I just got one debuff, I think I would have been fine. But like this, it's going to be a loss. What's most likely not going to be a loss is this team here, because they're going to hard counter both their lead as well as their Say Swap here with our Registeel, and we're going to be able to get the Zapkin off right now. And what I'm going to do after this one here, as you can see, if I get the debuff, I can swap out into the Quagsire. I checked before that, because now I can survive those moves, but I'm still going to shield the first move because it's guaranteed a Hurricane here, and now I can overfarm by quite a bit. They can go for the Weather Ball here, they can go for whatever they want, it doesn't really do too much damage. But we are in the same shield scenario, but I'm going to be able to now knock out the opponent's Pelipper here, and even get some damage onto the opponent's Ferrothorn, which is going to be nice. Mud Bomb, going to put them into Focus Blast range. They cannot farm me all the way down. They can definitely not do this. Yeah, I tried to go for the CMP type, that's why the opponent got the extra fast move through. I thought that they would go for it, but it doesn't matter anyway, because I even get to another charge move here, forcing them to shield this move up, but they don't even do this. They're gonna go into the Lantern, and now it's prime time for Poliwhirl. We have Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb is going to do a ton of damage here, and at this point of time, we still have the Registeel. They now know about Mud Bomb. I can shield up the move here. It's going to be the Thunderbolt, and I think at this point of time I just broke the opponent. There's not a lot that they can do anymore. There is literally nothing, as Poliwhirl is just too strong for this opponent. And this is going to be it for today's video. The opponent decides to forfeit. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.